Americans more positive about the surge in Iraq, but still want a timetable for withdrawal. New Gallup poll data on the American public's perception of the war in Iraq. First of all, a couple of more positive findings for the Bush administration and Iraq war supporters. We've had about a doubling in the percent of Americans who say the surge has made things better in Iraq. 22% said that back in July, and now in our most recent poll, that's up to 40%. Still not a majority, but on a relative basis, more Americans now looking positively at the surge. Also, what some analysts think is a key question: can the U.S. win in Iraq? That number 2 is now more positive than we found recently. For example, in September, we're up to 59% of Americans who, one way or the other, said yes, if America wanted to, it could win the war in Iraq. Does all of this translate into an increased sentiment on the part of the American public that U.S. troops should stay in Iraq as long as necessary? In a word, the answer to that question is no. 59% of Americans in our most recent poll still, despite some more positive perception of the surge, say that the U.S. should set a timetable for withdrawal of troops. Just 38% say troops should be kept there as long as necessary, and that's really no change from what we've been measuring in recent months. By the way, of that 59% who say a timetable should be set, however, the majority do say it should be gradual and not an immediate withdrawal. So we still have Americans, as we have now for quite a while, interested in a timetable, but not necessarily a strict or immediate timetable for withdrawal of troops from Iraq. Bottom line, Americans are picking up, at least to some degree, on some progress in Iraq, but still, eventually, want the U.S. troops to come home. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Editor-in-Chief of the Gallup poll.